On the 11th of April 1996, the Israelis escalated their attacks in the Irish Battalion's area of operations. In what the Israeli government would call Operation Grapes of Wrath, 44 Lebanese towns and villages were given 24 hours to evacuate. All hell broke loose. Over the following 2 weeks, the Israelis launched over 1,000 airstrikes from fighter jets and helicopter gunships into the Irish Battalion area. 170 Lebanese men, women and children were killed in the villages. Hundreds more were seriously injured. Tens of thousands of Lebanese fled through our checkpoints. Night blurred into day as we collected bodies from the wadis or dug the dead and injured out of collapsed houses, broken bodies, hair matted with blood and muck, cold fingers and hands among family photographs, broken crockery, the bits and pieces of domestic life thrown up in the high tide of high explosives. The troops from all parts of Ireland settled into a grim rhythm. Hands lifting lifeless, precious children and loved ones out of the still warm earth. And as we worked, over 25,000 Israeli artillery shells impacted around our positions. Throughout this, the Irish Battalion ferried the injured and dead to hospitals. Men with tattoos, whispering to frightened children in the back of armoured personnel carriers, giving first aid where they could and comfort where they couldn't. Things reached a crescendo on the 18th of April 1996. At our neighbouring UN position in the village of Qana, where allegedly, as Pig Eye put it, Jesus turned the water into wine, the Israelis killed 118 men, women and children in one incident. Sheltering in that UN post, they were literally rendered by an Israeli artillery strike. Qana resembled an abattoir. Khalid, a local boy who worked for us in Al Yaton, played Elvis Presley's greatest hits over and over throughout that day. Amid the chaos, Elvis sang, "When I first saw you, with your smiles so tender, my heart was captured, my soul surrendered." A week later, I was walking up Grafton Street, home. Like all soldiers, I buried the experience as best I could. But Lebanon revisits from time to time, unexpectedly. As on a damp grey morning in 2003, when I placed my own precious little girl into the cold, wet clay of Glasnevin Cemetery. 15 years after Qana, I sometimes wake at 4 a.m. I listen. As the house sighs and as my 4 children sleep, I think of Rashaf, Bait Shahun, Shakra, Jumai Jumai and Majd al-Silm. In my mind's eye, I work the battalion patrol plan and report my position on the Motorola. I think of the young man that I was then. I think of my parents, long dead. I think of my daughter, among all those lost and passed on. And I wonder, what part of my heart was left in Lebanon? What part of my soul surrendered there?
Tom Clonan, as heard on last week's Sunday Miscellany.